Okay, well, it's good to be back at it again after a bye week. San Diego State, obviously undefeated on a roll, has done some great things. I'm sure they're excited to, as we are, to jump into conference play here. It's a good opportunity for a lot of our kids to go home and play at least closer to home in California. So they're excited about that, I'm sure. Very good opponent. Defensively, giving up 8 points a game or whatever they're doing. They're aggressive. It's a Rocky Long defense. Who I have a ton of respect for Rocky, and his staff as a whole do a great job. They got good players, so that'll be a challenge against a good offense, against a good defense. It looks like so. It should be a great event. Them on offense, they've a little bit more spread early in the first couple games, and now they've gone back to a little bit more. 2 tight ends, 3 tight ends, 2 back sets, building it with one of the tight ends. So they want to be physical. They want to hit you with the throw game. I think the quarterback does a nice job of making decisions, and they have very good running backs, which you would expect nothing less. An experienced offensive line that has done a nice job for them, and they seem to settle into who they want to be. And they've got really good coaches on that side of the ball also, so they're going to put their kids in the best position to be able to make plays, and we need to do the same. So special teams again should be a really good battle. I think they've got a good set of special teams players, and I think we do too. So this will be a huge test for us going on the road, first conference game. I'm sure they're looking at it as a great opportunity as we are, and should be a great conference opener for both teams and for the Mountain West, quite frankly.
Can you tell us how you spent the bye week as far as, obviously you probably put some prep in and things, but you had guys that were hurt, you're trying to get healthy and things. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, first of all, we spent some time with the young kids, which was great. It was great to, you go through camp and everybody gets reps, and the young kids kind of become onto the prep teams, if you will, and they don't get as much individual time with our coaches, so we took some time doing that a couple times, which was great for the young kids and for the coaches. Our priority was San Diego State throughout the bye week. We gained as much of an advantage as we could using the bye week with the 2 games that we had on them, and then we also worked a little bit on some opponents that are down the road a little bit. So it was a mixed bag of all 3 of those. Worked on individual techniques, fundamentals is always big during the bye week, and it comes so early. You don't lose so much of that this early in the year, but later byes you tend to focus more on those techniques and those fundamentals that you don't quite have as much time for as you do in camp. So it was a good week. I thought they handled it well. They had Friday and Saturday off, and we're back here Sunday night for study hall. So kids should be ready to go this morning, early morning meeting this morning, and we'll bring them in for practice.
Can you give us any idea, did the rest or not playing help your secondary a little bit with some of those injury deals, do you feel, or what?
I don't think so. No, I don't. At this point, I think we'll have the guys we have, and we may get one back. We'll see how we go through the week of practice. But we're just we'll go with the guys that we got out there, and they're working hard to get themselves back on the field. And I would say it's we did take advantage and got healthy in a couple spots. Some guys were a little bit being dinged up, probably wouldn't have missed a game, but they should feel better, assuming they've done their part and taken care of their bodies.
And Andrew Peasley, it looked like it was pretty bad there. Is there any chance that he might be able to play again this season?
Well, we don't really talk about those things, so Mike can answer that for you when he gets to that point. But I don't have anything that would say, where he is at this point.
That's good.
Coach, the San Diego State usually has this main running back that they stick to. This year, they have 3 guys. All of them are over 100 yards so far this season. What do you see out of the running game?
Same thing you always see out of San Diego State in the run game. Big, powerful offensive line, bunch of good tight ends, and a good scheme. That's the biggest thing, whether they're in 3 wides and 1 back, or they're in 2 tight ends or 3 tight ends or 2 tight ends and one of them's a fullback. They're good football schemes. They got good players. The backs are exceptionally good side to side, tough kids, run the ball. That reputation for having running backs at San Diego State has been there for a long, long time, and it's there again this year. So, and y'all know my opinion on that. It's nice to have 2 or 3 backs. It's hard to have just one guy that you're going to hand it to all the time. He's really special if he can handle that. But I think that all 3 of those guys rolling through there are quality backs, and the key thing is they've got people around them, players and a coaching staff that gives them an opportunity to make plays.
So when they have 3 backs, is it usually based on what they can do individually, or is it based on depth? And build and keep him fresh?
Scheme hasn't really changed, regardless. I'm sure there's a little bit of a mindset on what those kids may do best, but you don't sit there and say, okay, here's this back in this situation, and he's a young guy, so they're doing this, and it changes schemes or doesn't do anything like that. They all, run the plays that they run, and a lot of it's inside the tackle box. But then when they get outside and they run outside their outside zone, their toss plays, all those things, they're very well adapted to be able to run them all. So the scheme has not changed at all versus which back's been in the game.
This Agnew has been really consistent for them, but they don't throw the ball for a lot of like big plays. They get a lot of 9, 10-yard pass plays. Is that a play action off the run? Is that what they're doing with him, or what, Gary?
Both. A little bit of play action, some drop back. I think he's a winner. I think he's proven that he is a kid that puts his team in a position he makes heady plays when he needs to make heady plays. I think he's very good in the pocket as far as picking his spots to step up in the pocket and when to run. He's done a nice job of getting out and breaking down and breaking containment or breaking the middle of the pass rush lanes down and getting out and doing some real positive things for his team. They got boots, they got play actions, they'll take shots down the field. Again, it's the structure of the offense to put him in a spot to be able to, make a lot of the throws that he makes that may not have the big try to take the top off you, but they've done that, and they've got those throws in there. And I guarantee that more of those are coming as they evolve this offense that they're doing. They're just, they haven't been as much spread as they were early in the year. Much 11 personnel, I guess, three wide receivers and one tight end. It's become more San Diego State style with we're going to punch you in the mouth and take play action shots and the boot game and play action things.
Well, the key going against them is they never let you run the ball very much at all. What is the scheme, or what has Rocky Long got rushing-wise that's always been so tough to run the ball against him?
Well, there's so many moving parts up front, and they're not just dial up a twist game or what have you. They're very well thought out. It's not a lot of heavy pressure all the time. It's thought out coverage back behind it, and they move those defensive linemen around a lot and have run a lot of twist games. They're very good at them. They're athletic, and they play with people off the ball that can run and are very good tacklers. So it's Rocky's defense have always been very, very physical, good tacklers. They got good speed, and they play well together. And that's some people sometimes think there's a lot of deception and just bobbing and weaving in there. Well, there is, but it's very well thought out, and he's a tremendous coach, and they recruit good players in those positions. So it makes it tough to run the ball, and they get so many negative plays. They catch you behind the line of scrimmage, they tip a pass, they pop a gap on you in those situations, in those settings. So it's difficult to prepare for, and hopefully our offense can do a nice job of protecting the quarterback and getting something going in the run game. I think is a huge part of this game for us.
Tizino is coming off a pretty monster season for them. When you watch him on film, what stands out to you?
Just like so many kids on that team, just fundamentally sound, loves to play football. I mean, that's obvious when you see what he does and how he goes about it. Physical, knows his assignment, plays his role, fits where he needs to be able to fit. And I don't see it's a tremendous gifted athlete, does special things, and you better deal with them. You better know what's happening.
Just a general comment of this year. Obviously having to play San Diego State, Fresno State, Nevada is an upgrade over the other teams that we played the last 2 years from the West. The way that the teams have been, this in general just makes it really hard. And Boise State doesn't have to play these guys this year, for instance. It's interesting how important it becomes because you got tough conference games.
Yeah, there's no doubt. The schedule is what the schedule is, right? You play the schedule that's out there in front of you, and this is a very, very competitive league overall. And it's going to be interesting to see how it all, filters out as we move through it. But, a lot of people could knock each other off in this league this year. We'll see as we continue through. Boise's got a big one this week, and Air Force has got a big one this week. They play each other Friday night. That's a huge game, right out of the gate. And I think both those teams, from what I've seen, are playing extremely well. It's a big game for us, big game for San Diego State, and they'll just continue on next week. It's a big game for Colorado State. It's a big game for Aggies. So there, but it's a very difficult schedule. And then you pop in the LSU game in a couple 3 weeks here, which in the middle of the season is interesting, to say the least. So, but you take it one game at a time. We got a very good San Diego State team that's again undefeated, and I'm sure they're sitting there thinking we're a pretty good team and potentially getting in a position to be ranked. And so we should all be excited about this one and then move on to the next one after that. But it's a competitive conference, which is awesome for the fans and awesome for the kids. They get to play good people every week.
Do they go after? Will he go after Jordan Love more than he might other quarterbacks with more pressure? Do you think?
I don't know. You have to ask him that. Yeah. I don't know. I'm sure.
I mean, they've obviously got it.
Yeah,
They can
yeah.
do stuff.
Well, defensive coordinators are always one of the biggest things, is to find a way to, eliminate the quarterback. And when I say that, I don't mean hurt him and take him off the field. I mean, confuse him, not put him in a position. Don't let him stay in his spot. Pre-snap awareness, as far as maybe what he sees is not really what it's going to be. And Rocky Long will make sure that all those pieces are there. He's done this for a long time and has been very successful. So, the challenge is to make sure our kids, as the coaches and the group of kids, they get themselves in a position to be able to anticipate and do what we do. I think that's the other thing too, is don't worry so much about what the other team's doing, but let's do what we do on offense and make sure we execute at a high level, catch the ball, take care of the football, ball security. We have a chance to make a big play. We need to make big plays, and if we can do that, it'll probably be a heck of a football game to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I think turnovers really are going to be at a premium in this game. They've only caught the ball up twice all year. I want to say they have 7 takeaways. So, I mean, just how important is it for you to, if not win the turnover battle, at least come very close to doing that?
Yeah, no doubt. I think that in third downs, again, very similar to the last game when we sat back and said areas to improve, and we did improve in that area. I think if we can take care of the football and put ourselves in a position to win third downs on the offensive side and on the defensive side of the ball, you've got a great chance, assuming you have good players, to win a football game. And we have good players, and they have good players too. So you're right; those momentum swings of third downs, turnovers, big plays are going to play a big part in this. And then I would also throw in there the special teams side. Who's going to punt the ball the best, who's going to tackle when they're in the special team situations and scenarios to make sure that they give their defense the best opportunity to get back on the field or make a big play, so their offense has a good field position.
Are we about done with kickoff returns in college football?
It's definitely trending in that direction. Yeah, there's no question about it. And that doesn't bother me. If it did go away, it really truly would not bother me. I just think it's a play that now you're spending so much time on, and it's not out there much anymore. And you can just now, how you do it all with the onside kick and all the things that you need to be able to have a chance to win a game. That's a whole nother, tangled web we weave. But they're becoming less and less, that's for sure.
So it takes a Scarver totally out of some of the things that he does well. But they've got the Washington kid who's been hurt. He does it for them, and it takes him out. It maybe takes him out.
Yeah, it's when you have an awesome weapon like we do with him, we would like to have it. But it has shown that there's a lot of collisions that go on that play, and it's a violent play in certain situations. I think they've done a great job though through the officials and the rules committee and everything else is taking the wedges away and making it. I can't really say it's not as violent as it used to be, but with those double teams, there's just not the same opportunity for those giant collisions with two guys on one that have been there in the past. But there's still those opportunities for the big collisions.
Coach, I know you said you can't control your schedule, but how big is it to have a bye before conference play? Always that you open up conference play, because then you get a bye after LSU before you host Nevada. How big can those byes be to get ready for conference teams?
Well, I don't think it really matters who you're playing. It's how you use the bye, right? And what your team is, what's the mindset of the team, what do you need to work on? And so we always just functionally look at ourselves and say, how can we get ourselves better in these next 4 or 5 days? And then you take them where they fall. This happens to be after week 2 for us against San Diego State, so I would say it's a good spot for a bye for us right now. Now we'll see how we come out and play and what takes place, and then after the LSU game, I would say that's probably a pretty good place for a bye. So sitting in where we are this year, we're going to take them where they always fall, and we're never going to say it's in a bad spot, but these seem to be a pretty good spot. And a lot of people say week 2, but we had a bye after 2 games, but these kids have been at it for a long, long time, so it's their bodies have been banging around for a few months here.
Coach Alston passed away. I was wondering, are you a historian in regards when you talk to your players at all? Do you ever kind of look back at some of the great players, or at least talk about some of the great teams that you guys ever had, or that Utah State's had? Are you a historian with Utah State football at all with your kids, or no?
Oh, there's times we talk about things. I think you need to understand the traditions of your school. I think that's very, very important, and it's special to me here, so that's why it's maybe a little more important to me. But we talk about the past. Look into the future. And I think the biggest thing for all that is just make sure that the kids in the program understand that this is not about them. It's far bigger than them as an individual or any of us as individuals. This place is about a university, and it's about a tradition, and it's about Aggie Nation. And that might sound like coach talk or whatever you want to call it, but it's true here because I believe it is different. In many places, I'm sure it is, but I only know this place when it comes to that, it makes a big difference at Utah State that you understand, kind of how you fit and what the expectations are of you as a student athlete, for a long, long time. It's not just now we're in the Mountain West and we've got this or we've got this nice locker room or whatever. There's a lot of things took place to allow you to be able to have what you have today. And you need to look at that as a special, special opportunity.
Well, there's two guys who restarted Utah State football, John Ralston and Gary Anderson.
A lot of good players. I give it to them. Had some really good coaches on the backside, so I was a tiny, tiny part of that.
I'm ready for questions.
You had enough of a bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
I enjoyed it, but it's gone now.
So just overall, some people's feelings of the first two games is we haven't really seen the defensive line making a lot of the plays maybe we expected to see, Chris. I mean, I don't know if that's fair, but what would you have to say about that?
Sometimes it's in our best interest to do our job, and our job isn't always making plays. It's, allowing the backers to, do their responsibility, being free and whatnot, and us taking up blocks. But, yeah, of course we would like to make plays, and hopefully these upcoming games we do so.
Cheers. I just wanted to ask you, I feel like you're better equipped as a defensive line to handle their offensive line in the last couple times you played them back in 2015, 2016. How better equipped do you feel you guys are to play them?
For me personally, I was a freshman when I first played, so I was very young and didn't know much of the game at the time. But now, as being experienced as I am, I'd say that we have the physicality at the D line to go and throw blows with them. So I think we have a good shot at that.
And you know how the games have gone with them.
Yeah,
Trenches, we've just
exactly.
been wiped out. The
Yeah.
games we played against San Diego
Yeah,
State.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like this time, physicality-wise, I think that we can hold our ground and be able to help out our defense big time.
Does it motivate you at all to know that Utah State's never beaten San Diego State, never beaten San Diego State or won there at all?
To be honest, I don't really get into statistics like that. I take it one game at a time. Whatever game's in front of me, I don't really know the history. I've heard it a couple times that we never beat them before. Well, one time, but long time ago. But honestly, it doesn't really motivate me. Every game is the same to me. I take every game at its peak. No lows, no highs. To put it together, just all one mentality for me.
What was how do you personally take it that Fua gets hurt and can't play the rest of the year? He's got to be one of your friends, and
Yeah.
it's got to be hard for you guys
Yeah.
a little bit. Do you play the year for him now? Do you try to pick up for him, think we're doing it for him or whatever?
Yeah, of course. That hurt big time when Full went out. He's a tough kid. He played the whole game. Well, he got hurt during Wake Forest, but he finished the whole game. Yeah, no one even knew he was hurt until we hopped on the plane. And, even then we were like, you're good, you're going to be good. But when the news came out that he was hurt, it hurt us in the depth because, it's good to have experienced players when you're in, and when you come out, okay, Full is in there, he can do his job. But yeah, we're definitely paying for him. That our next game without him, we all had his number on our arm, and we'll continue to do so and play our best for Full.
Have the younger guys on the defensive line played well in the first couple of games?
Yeah,
You?
They actually have. We had Hale, Caden, and Sonne playing some significant amount, and they actually did pretty well. And I was excited for them. A little nervous at first, you know, you never know, but you know, it's great to see them doing well.
You seem to be healthier than you've been for a while. I mean, how big of a relief is that, you know, for your senior year that, you know,
Yeah, you know, well, I'll knock on wood, but it feels good to, you know, be fresh and not have to worry about any injuries right now, and, you know, helping out the boys. And yeah, but you're right. It's been, you know, hard for me the couple past years, but you know, I'm feeling good right now.
Just a general thought about starting conference play, and I know that's the only thing you guys even care about.
Yeah.
Is conference. That's the only thing you're supposed to talk about, or you do talk about. So give us a read on that a little bit.
Yeah, you know, every break is Mountain West champ, so this week is big time for us, starting with SDSU, and we're hoping to, you know, take our mentality, our physicality to them in San Diego and come out with a win.
Starting league play is what really matters. You know, it's a great experience to play a out of conference team in a different in a higher level, speaking so to say, than us playing Wake Forest. See where we at, and then playing Stony Brook to you know, just play for us, and then so we can execute to our ability. Now it's time for things that really matter. So it's game time for real, for real.
And we were just talking to Coach Anderson. The deal is Utah State never runs the ball very well against San Diego State in the 2 conference games we've played against them before. Have you already started to look at why they're good and what you guys can do against that?
Yes, they're a strong team. Those guys are they play very hard. As I watch film, from the last time I played them, which was my redshirt freshman year, I believe, it was a cold day. It was rough. It was a cold day. I think we turned the ball over like 4 times, and then they had that guy in the backfield who just do amazing things. So it was a cold night, but you know, we've changed. We got better. Our goals are still the same, and we're looking forward to getting this win. You know, the first win in the district play.
Did you play receiver in the last game against them?
Yes, I played receiver.
You're still playing receiver. Did you play a lot? Do you remember?
No, I started at kick return, so I got a lot of kick returns. That's pretty much it.
If they scored 40, I guess you had some chances.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, this is really a game where you guys are really looking for that upper echelon road win in Mountain West play. So, I mean, how hungry are you to go out there and get that against San Diego State?
Well, I'm super hungry, and as a team, we're super hungry because we all understand that, you know, in the Mountain West, all it takes is one game. If you lose one game, you might be done for the running in the Mountain West Championship. So we understand that we have to go out there and get this dub. It ain't gonna be easy, but we're dependent on our preparation and our the way we practice that prepares us for them so that we can go out and get this win.
How would you say our running game in your mind right now is as good as it was last year? Is it the same, or do you always feel confident about the running game? What would you say?
Yes, I feel confident in the run game. I'm not too much on the stats comparing from here to last year, but as I watch, the run game is pretty much the same. It can be a lot better, of course, and that's what we're still striving on doing. So it's a few tweaks here and there that we got to get fixed, and I believe it can honestly be better than last year.
I believe Jalen Warren is the first USU back for his first 2 games to rush over 100 yards. Can you talk about what he's meant so far to your guys' offensive production?
Jalen Warren is a great young player. What I like about him is that he learns, he listens. So in the film room, I tell him, hey, Jalen, write these notes down, you know, pay attention, make sure you understanding these tendencies of these defenses. He locks in and he understands it. And then what's great about that is when we go out to practice, he applies it at practice. So it's one thing to have the knowledge in your head, and it's another thing to apply it on the field. So he's doing great with that, and he's a very hard runner, and he's very determined.
This is probably an unfair question. Is there any similarities to him and Darwin Thompson on the field, how they run?
Honestly, I say they different running backs, you know. To me, they're completely different running backs. Jalen, I can't really explain it, but they're 2 different running backs.
Do you keep an eye on Darwin? Do you chat with him at all?
Yeah, that's my guy. I talked to him yesterday. Yeah.
his first carry, caught one last week and caught a carry this week. So.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned, I don't know if you or Al mentioned it, there were, last time we played San Diego State, there were a bunch of turnovers, and that's something they really thrive at. I think they have 7 takeaways on the year. They don't give the ball up very much. I think they've fumbled once, they've thrown 1 interception. So how much do you like your chances if you guys can play smart and value the football and not give them what they thrive at?
I think our chances are very high. You know, like I said, we work on ball security every day, and our defense work on takeaways. So we understand that the turnover margin is very important in a game like this, especially a game in conference. So we're going to do our best to take care of the ball, and our defense is going to do their best to get the ball.
Gerald, you came here and you were looked like maybe going to be a wider or slot back or whatever. Can you talk in any ways about what this has been like, the evolution of you and how important now you are, and you're a senior and have gone through it, and I don't know, kid from Florida to here, you might, you're a long ways away. I mean, so what has that been like?
It's been a journey. You know, I was recruited by Bo Knight, Javon Bo Knight. He's now at Oregon, coaching the receivers. But yeah, I got here as a receiver. I was the guy that was just like, you know what? Who cares, man? Let me just get on this field, and then hopefully I get some opportunities to get the ball in my hands and show what I can do. It was rough. It was rough because many people don't know. I always told the coaches, hey, put me at running back every day until they finally got tired of me. And then it was like, all right, put Gerald at running back. And then look what happens. And, I respected the journey, and it's good to have somebody like me in my position that's been through that so I can talk to the younger guys so they can understand that, hey, it may start off rough, you may not be where you want to be, but keep working hard, and eventually things will pay off for you.
So you think you've talked yourself into being a running back by mentioning enough, or what?
Yeah, pretty much, because I ain't gonna lie, I was on the coach's head. I was like, hey, man, put me at running back. I even talked smack to the running backs that was here. I was like, y'all suck, put me in, and stuff like that. And then Coach Tarmadol was like, all right, you talk all that smack, here's your opportunity. And then so I had to put my money where my mouth was at.
Well, and you were a high school quarterback, weren't you?
Mm-hmm.
So you had the ball, but you threw it or ran it or whatever.
Yeah, we ran triple option. It was like Oregon speed with the Georgia Tech style. So
Who was running back when you were talking smack here at the time?
we had Lawan Hunt, we had Tony, we had El Toro, Morian Walker. He's still here, but yeah, it was a couple guys here.
You can talk smack to your fellow Floridians.
Yeah, I can talk smack to him. It's all love.
It's a big game early in the season for this team. Like you said, one loss can make a difference because then you have to rely on other people sometimes to have things happen the right way. So, is this team ready for a big game, third game of the year?
I believe we're ready. Like I told you, preparation is what we strive on. So if you prepare the right way, do what you're supposed to do, then the win should take care of itself.